日本ニュースタイムへようこそ。
Hello there, morons. It's Victor, Give Me a Break Man, King of the Morons, and today's a JNEWS, so I'm going to get right to it. Please check the description for notes. There'll be a few notes on the board. In 1995, a man and woman lovers, common law husband and wife, were arrested for the arson murder of the woman's daughter. Her name is Keiko Aoki. The daughter's name is Megumi. She was 11 years old. The husband's name is Tatsuhiro Boku, which is a strange last name because those of you studying Japanese know that Boku also means me. So that must have been weird. Boku, you know. Anyway, if your name was me, like, hey me, who me? You mean me or me? You know. Anyway, enough of that. There'll be Japanese notes at the end of this video, by the way. But let me just get to the story because it's interesting. So this happened in 1995, and they both got life in prison, which I must shuu. What is that called? Shushinke. Shushinke, yes, life imprisonment, Shushinke, and that was it. You know, throw them in jail, throw away the books. Now, they were recently released because apparently there was a forced confession, and I think we have that on the board up here. Yeah, jihaku. Well, confession is jihaku. Forced confession though, buriyaki. I don't know how you would say a forced confession, but anyway. The prosecutor or the judge decided, or one of the lower courts in Osaka decided that the forced confession was a little bit suspicious, and the prosecutors could not reenact the crime. So something that they do a lot here in Japan is they'll actually they'll bring the actual suspects to the scene of the crime and have them reenact it so they can, I don't know, document everything. I've actually seen remember you guys saw me on Give Me a Break Man catch a bicycle thief with my bare hands, and they took the bicycle thief back to the scene of the crime and had him show the cops exactly what he did. But yes, forced confession. I'm just checking up on that. Whenever I'm making these things, I suddenly get all these other questions like, maybe I should look that up. Anyway, so they let the people, they let the guys go. They let the guys jihaku kyou. I'm not sure how to say that. We'll check that out in a minute. Anyway, here's something interesting about Japan that's very different from America and probably any other civilized countries. In Japanese they say jihaku kyou. That was right, kyoyo. Okay, what do you know? My kanji reading was correct. So here's a couple up here. You can see the picture there. Probably not focusing. Yes. So here's the thing. In Japan we have something called代用監獄. And it's a little bit tricky because I'll give you links to explain more if you're interested in detail. But so kangoku is basically a jail, and dayu is substitute. So this is a substitute jail, and next to in 1908 there was a shortage of jails, so they created this these dayu kangokus, not kankoku, that's Korea. Dayu kangokus, which are basically substitute jails that are attached to the police station, and what that allows the police to do is to keep the suspects there. So usually, I guess when you have a suspect, you arrest a suspect, I guess like in the States too, you put them in a jail, in prison, and they have professional prison guards take care of them until the trial, right? So there's not much interaction with the investigating police officers. However, from what I understand, in this case, the jail is like attached to the actual police building where the actual investigators are. So the investigators are pretty much in charge of taking care of them while they're doing the investigation, which means that the suspects are easy targets for torture or abuse, right? And under Japanese law, you can hold a suspect for 3 days already, which is pretty long. I think in the States, is it only 44? Is it 3 days? I don't know how long it is in the States now. I'm getting confused. But anyway, you can tell me how long it is in your country if you know that information. Whatever country you're from, I know the States is not the only country in the world. I'm aware of that. But anyway, in Japan you can hold them for 3 days. Then you can ask the judge to extend it for 10 days. And then after that, 10 more days. So in total, 23 days. You can ask the judge to extend keeping them in the Dayo Kankoku for up to 23 days. Which means that you can basically torture this guy for 23 days because the investigative officer who's also in charge of holding the guy or keep his living arrangements for the next 23 days or 3 days and 10 days and 10 days. You can control the meals when they come. You can control their sleep. And here's the funny thing, or not funny, haha, but funny, strange. The suspect does not have to say anything. He has the right to remain silent, but he does not have the right to stop the interview. So if the investigative officers want to keep you in there, want to keep hammering you with questions and question after question after question, you can't say, I'm tired, I've had enough, that's it, I'm done. You can't do that. So you basically have to suffer. And I don't know about you, but after a couple of hours of hounding for my wife, I pretty much confess to anything. So I wouldn't last a day in that place. But no, seriously, imagine you're in there for days at a time, and you're like, oh, they probably tell you something, just confess, and it'll be over with. You'll get a little time off, time served or something, and it'll be done. I recently saw an episode of The Good Wife, which is fairly accurate, though of course I understand it's a drama, where they had arrested a woman for shoplifting, and the judge said, look, we'll just slap you on the wrist if you confess. So I imagine things are like that, but if you are innocent and you refuse to confess, of course, which is what happened in The Good Wife, of course, people can cause quite a ruckus. Now, but I imagine that if they had you in jail for 3 days, then 10 days, and 10 more days, you would eventually break. They could pretty much break anyone. And apparently extensions, these requests for the Daiyo Kangoku extensions are approved 99.8% of the time. Again, I will give you links in the description where you can verify this information for yourself. But it's a pretty screwed up situation. Now Japan's legal system or police system is hailed. They kind of pat each other on the back, like, yeah, we always get our man kind of thing. But they're pretty much, it's well known around the world to be a bit I won't say corrupt, but they're criticized as inhumane. And Amnesty always has them on their list. I will also add an article, I think from Japan Today, regarding that criticism from Amnesty International. But anyway, it's a mess. Now, similar case about a week ago, I think, a guy named Hakamada Iwao, which is a real old-fashioned name, was just released, and he was the longest-serving prisoner in history, I guess. And they released him again I think they're going to do a retrial with him as well. Remember, these people are not free forever. They're going to be retried. Wow, so that sucks. But this guy was in solitary confinement for decades, which that's got to make drive you crazy. Now, this particular couple up here on the board, they were in jail for 20 years, and they're a little bit older than me. So wow, that's the prime years of their life, just taken away. They're both very happy, though. The oldest daughter of the woman accused, she was waiting for her mother. They were both the decision was handed down on Friday, but were not released until yesterday, which I don't know why. I guess you got to wait for the weekend, the processing. The newspaper itself says, we don't know why there was a delay, but screwed up. It's good news that they're out, of course, but who knows? They might go back in if the prosecution can actually prove their case or better this time. But anyway, that's the story. It's pretty screwed up in Japan. I don't know. Hopefully none of you will ever have to deal with the police at this level, but they are known for being quite successful at getting their suspect to confess. So yeah, I wouldn't come over here and commit crimes for sure. Of course, this is like nobody watching this video is going to commit a crime, hopefully. So, but it is of course unjust, and we should protest this. So just reporting to you regarding that. Now, for those of you who are studying Japanese, let's go into this article and look at this. We're just going to touch upon the major parts of the article. Okay, let's look at first of all, we're going to talk about the kind of related words, nai-en no otto, inside connection husband, which actually means common law husband. Okay, so that's the ai-en no otto. I suppose if you change this to tsuma, it would be common law wife. Right? And over here we have that word we were just talking about, Daiyo Kangoku. Daiyo Kangoku. Okay. Now let's look at the headline here of the newspaper. We rarely get a chance to read a newspaper, so we're going to go through this. And again, I'll put this in the description with the reading, so if you cannot get it with me as we do it. Saishin, retrial, no hahara, adding ra to haha means haha, the mother and Int'l, the people connected to the mother. I think in this case it means the mother and her boyfriend, right? The boyfriend. Looking pretty bad for 50 to 51, 52. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, he's in jail, so I can't blame him. Okay. So, saishin no hahara 20 nen, 20 years, buri. For the first time in 20 years, haku, shaku released. So, retrial for the mother and her boyfriend. After 20 years, they were released. And we're just going to look at the major kanji here. Osaka no joji. Shibo kasai. Okay, so kasai is arson or fire. Shibo is death, die. Joji is the daughter, the 11-year-old daughter. Joji means young child, woman, so young woman. And Osaka no, so this happened in Osaka. The Osaka death by arson of a young girl. Okay, and then we have two interesting expressions. One of them you will find very interesting and useful. The first one is Tasukete agerare nakute gomen ne. I'm sorry I could not help you. I'm not sure who says that. I assume the daughter said that. I haven't read the whole article in Japanese. We're just focusing on the big points here. And over here, again, I'll put that in the description. Help you. I couldn't give you help or help you. I'm sorry. And this is very useful. Uso no jihaku wa jinsei saidai no koukai. I'm sorry, we're teaching Spanish in the other room, you might hear that. Uso, lie, no jihaku, confession. So my false confession is jinsei saidai, the biggest in my life, regret. So the biggest regret of my life is my fault in confession. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that's your article. Please check the description for notes for those of you who are studying Japanese, and links to the article regarding this, or regarding the things I talked about. Right? There's articles and there's Wikipedia pages explaining this stuff. So that's basically the lesson for today. Thanks for watching, everyone. My name is Victor, and again, we'll be doing more positive lessons in November. So I'm going to try to avoid these negative things. There's a lot of positive things to comment on as well. Again, if you're studying Japanese, please check out the Japanese for Morons channel, youtube.com/JapaneseForMorons, where you have very short mini lessons. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon.